to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Calvadas?
Here.
Mr. Capadas?
Here.
Mr. Cassia? Here. Mr. White?
Here.
Mr. Beatrice?
Here.
Mr. Kennedy?
Here.
And Mr. Basil?
Here.
Public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Act has been given by the clerk in the following manner. 1, posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Clerk's office on January 4th, 2012. 2, emailed to the retrospective Courier Post on January 4th, 2012. We have an approval of minutes.
Mayor, I'd like to make approval of minutes of 11/7 and 11/15 submitted by the clerk.
Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Report to
I have the report of the construction official for the month of November, a total of $6,935 collected for various permits and COs. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. I have the report of the municipal clerk for the month of November, a total of $355.75 was collected for various permits, including 2 dog licenses. I also want to report that as far as our rabies clinic, it's scheduled for March the 9th. We have some issues though. The county will no longer be supplying syringes, so we're going to have to purchase the syringes ourselves. And as far as the vaccine, they have ordered under their contract, which ended as of December 31st, they have ordered as much as they are able to order. They are telling us that they have enough for clinic scheduled to January 2013. Our clinic is scheduled for March. I don't know, they might have it, they might not. The issue is, are we going to be charged for it? We don't know. Now, it might, so right now we're in the process of sending out the notice for the rabies clinic, and that's not for the licenses for next year, which includes a blurb about the clinic. I will tell you, I took the free out, said free, I took it out just in case. I have no idea what it costs.
You didn't get any calls for the syringes or the vaccine?
Not yet. I have to call, or they suggest you call your own vet. So I have to find that out to see whether or not, I have no idea what that's going to entail. And if there is a cost, are we still going to allow anyone from the county to come in? When it was free, we really had no choice. We had to allow everyone to come into it. So that's going to be another issue. Are we going to just limit it to Runnemede residents? So that's something we're going to have to consider for next March.
Did they give a reason, Joyce? That's why
They told us they are restructuring this, and they had, the current contract has been in effect for 6 years, and the price that they are paying for the rabies vaccine is really low. They know that in the market. So they anticipate when they go out to bid that it will be much higher. So I don't know, I assume it's a money issue, and it's like everything else with the county, being dumped back home. So that'll be an issue for next year to decide when we get all final tally, and then we won't know until January whether or not they will have enough to supply us.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the report of the chief of police for the month of November. A total of $229.70 was collected for various accident discovery reports, solicitor reports, open requests, and firearm permits. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the fire marshal for the month of November. A total of $1,172 was collected for various fire fees. There were 75 inspections completed, 145 total incidents, 5 special use permits issued, and November EMS fees collected, $21,035.92. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the Registrar of Vital Statistics for the month of November. A total of $3,184 was collected for various death copies, marriage copies, and marriage licenses. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the tax collector for the month of November. A total of $3,382,217.38 was collected in taxes. and sewer rentals for $48,629.42. And that's all I have.
Can I have a motion?
We received all your.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Communications.
Communicate, the first one is a letter from Ronald Aronson, thanking mayor and council and commending the assistance of various road departments during Hurricane Sandy.
We received, file a copy, give it to, Mr. Thomas, the rest of the.
Second.
All those in favor?
The next is a letter from Joan Lee thanking mayor and council for the fruit basket to accept on their illness. That's Laurie's wife.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The next is a letter from Robert Del Sordo, Borough Prosecutor, offering to reduce his salary as prosecutor by half to be reappointed in 2013.
Communication we received, file.
Second.
All those in favor? Signify.
Next is our two emails from Captain Daly, asking mayor and council to consider additional handicap parking near St. Mary Gordon Church and changing parking regulations on Elm Avenue. I deferred both of these to our engineer for his opinion too, so I don't know what.
How about to give it to public safety or somebody to look into it?
Well, it came from Paul.
I'm saying, he's only the captain.
Okay.
I want to turn it over to the Charles. Thank you.
You haven't looked at it yet, right, Mayor?
I received an email. The question with this Smith Lane no parking was, it says during official games, and I'm not sure how you're going to enforce that, what determines an official game.
That's the second.
It's an official game, and the parking is put there, the parking, kids don't run out in the car, the place, the street is pretty congested for games, so.
Yeah,
If there's no parking, I leave it in the park
Before they used to park right up against the fields with the yelling. Now they moved it to the other side. Something to be considered because I know that's not what everybody wants. They want the kids to be safe, but.
Well, the first one was at St. Mary's, right, we've not looked.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then the second one is, you're talking about the field is the second email? Yeah.
They need,
Let's, let public safety look at it.
they need to handicap parking there at St. Mary Gordon.
And I'm sure they're going to consult with the engineer.
Okay, then, all right, Joyce.
Tony made the motion. We have a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The next is a letter from Chief Diana recommending Dennis Starr as a person.
Motion.
I move we receive the following communication.
Second.
All those in favor?
The next is a public hearing for bond ordinance 12-14, authorizing completion of various capital improvements and the acquisition of capital equipment for the borough of Runnemede, appropriating the sum of $550,000 and issuance of general obligation bonds in the amount of up to $522,500. This portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to make comments on this ordinance and this ordinance alone, they come up to the microphone and state your name and address.
There seems to be anyone wishing to speak. I think we're ready to go to the public hearing.
Second.
Second. Sorry.
Zero. Roll call.
Just all this
I would make it roll
for the adoption.
call.
Motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Yes.
And Mr. Pedro.
Yes.
4 ayes and 2 absent.
I move that the resolution be adopted.
The bingo license 1301 for Holy Child Parish, 2013. Schedule and all paperwork is in order, and also a raffle license for Holy Child Parish 2013. Schedule, all purpose, all shown, all paperwork is in order. So I move that we approve bingo license 1301 and raffle license 1301 for Holy Child Parish.
I second.
Now, I have the rest of the report. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it.
Can I ask one question? Is that the whole year now? We don't have to do it every month? They have the whole
Yes.
schedule done?
They are having so many raffles and licenses.
We grouped them all together?
No, they came in now and put in for another night. Some are under Holy Child Parish, some are under, what did we have, I forget what the last one was under, but they, hopefully this will be the end of it.
They have a schedule for the whole year?
Correct. There are other ones that
And
are.
I'm sure that will be other.
Correct.
This is that's
The-
right.
And on the police report, the motor vehicle summons movement violations this month, there were 174. For parking violations, there were 12. For motor vehicle crashes, there were 25. There were 102 arrests, and year-to-date arrests were 1,493. And the hours of overtime for the month was 3 hours. That's the total for the police department. Next is my report. My report under personnel, I would like to that Jody, Mayor, and this plaque for all your service as a councilman, as a mayor, as a councilman, and a right-hand man. We all want to thank you very much for your time and your service for us. I'm not going to read this long one.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor. Thank you, members of council. It's been quite a ride. Not a lot of good things and a few bad things, but all in all, very happy with my experience. I have nothing else to say except that I think I'm a better person at sat this year. Thank you.
I also have one for Mike. He's not here, so I'll make sure that he gets it. Okay, under personnel, I just hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, and I won't see you for Christmas, so I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And always stay healthy. There's a lot of flu going around right now, so take care, everybody. Thank you. Finances, Tony?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Happy to report that we had our exit meeting for 2011 budget. Bonnie was here. We met with the mayor, myself, and Richard. Got the remarks which council is required to read and sign affidavit that they did so. Also, we have a plan that Richard will tell you all about. I'm going to steal his thunder, but we're very, very happy, and I'm embarrassed because I don't remember the record of tax collection, and I wanted to thank the tax collector. It was 98.03. So a lot of credit to the taxes. Thank you. Just a couple of things. The planning board has canceled their meeting this month. And very important for newly elected officials. The JIF is having a session for newly elected officials. It's going to be held in Barrington on December 6th at 4:30 p.m. and at their borough hall, and at Collingswood Senior Community Center on December 10th. Excuse me, December 10th at 4:30, and another one at Evesham Township on December 13th at 6 p.m. Now, if you remember, down at the league, I would venture to say maybe approximately 500 people, elected officials, et cetera, would come to this particular class, get their accredited things that they had entitled, and in doing so, that every elected official that comes to this class, the borough will receive $250 as an incentive. So I'm sure that there's going to be other classes that are scheduled. I've also submitted one to be held in Runnemede, but I don't have the date. So I would encourage all mayor and council attend these scheduled sessions. I'll leave the, I don't know if Joyce has them, but I'll leave the sign-up sheet.
You're in everybody's box.
Okay, and everybody has.
But there'll be more, so we'll have an opportunity in the 2013, like we
Yes,
had.
yes,
Or
yes,
we're all here.
yes.
We're all here in the-
But due to the fact that the enormous amount of people that missed out because of the league being canceled, there's going to be a number of, it's sort of like an exaggerated kind of thing. And I guess I'll leave something for Richard to talk about and report on it.
Thank you. Nick, creation.
I think Mr. Hunt's here for Frank's report.
Would you like to report for Frank?
Did you want, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, he did, he called me.
Oh, okay.
Frank asked me just to come tonight and sit here in case anyone had any questions or needed answers for anything that he had a treatment on Saturday and wasn't able to attend. He and him were always in close contact with each other, and so just wanted to be here for progress and if anyone has any questions. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, Nick.
Thank you. Recreation, the only thing that's going on right now obviously is that the Harry Williams building is being used 7 days a week. Activities that go on, basketball programs, public events, things like that, ball programs. We did have a little incident, but I think that's been resolved. But other than that, I'd like to just report progress.
Ed?
Thank you, Mayor. As you see, the year's coming to an end. We got a lot of work done this year, a lot of roads, green acres, moving forward. Hopefully, the package starts. And we met with Mr. Pacer at his hearing committee, and we went over a wish list of roads we have for next year. Everybody will see it'll be compact. Mark will tell us if you look more information. But I'd like to thank the beautification committee for all the hard work everybody did for the Halloween parade. I mean, yeah, Halloween, it's for the Christmas party. They did a great job. Hopefully, whoever puts up next year. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Ed, go ahead.
Just a brief report, Bingham and Downing schools are now wireless and ready to go with their iPads. 16 applications for school superintendent were received. The search committee will meet again in December. Deadline for submitting applications is December 7th. The school board's attorney, Philip Sturts, took a stand on the importance of the Sunshine Law. He wanted to assure the public that they recognize the necessity of keeping proper minutes and that they are bound by law, that when you read the minutes, you need to understand them in detail. He said minutes in the past were skipping, and he assured the public that that would no longer be, and that they would always comply with statutes 10:14-12 and 10:14-14. I want to say Merry Christmas to everyone, and I hope everyone has a happy New Year. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Pat. Administration.
One of the first things that I wanted to discuss is something I'm sure every resident is going to be well aware of very soon. This week, the letters went out from the borough on the reassessment. Basically, all the values were established, and each resident, basically the way they did it was they showed it in comparison to this year's budget based on the reassessment. I'd like to state again that in a perfect world where people didn't have improvements made that may not have been reported and there weren't quirks in the system, that the value of the house would go up, the tax rate would go down, and you would have a zero-sum gain. Obviously, it doesn't always work that way, especially when the amount of time that's gone by is gone by since we had our last rebound. But basically, it's a very complicated process that none of us will pretend to understand how it works. Brian is our expert, and on the letter, it requests of the residents if they have any questions on how the value was determined or any issues related to the value, that they call that number, and they will tell them how it was arrived at. If the residents still have questions, they can come in and actually set an appointment and meet with them, and they'll go over it. If they still were not satisfied with the answer that they received, they have the option to appeal the taxes once the tax rate is struck. So we're not expecting any major issues. There may be some small individual issues. I have a list of those, but I think the average resident, and again, we're talking the average resident, would be $120 less in taxes. And I think he said that 68% of the residentials fall into a plus 300, minus 300. So I mean, there's no major issues, but there are some properties that do issues with their assessments. So basically, the number, I think I forwarded a copy of the number for Brian to everybody, so if you get any phone calls, just have to call that number. And if people are coming to the office, we're also referring them to that number, because we don't even have the folders and stuff on it. We're working with the FEMA officials. They were in today to document all of our storm-related reimbursable expenses, and they're fast-tracking. They said they're getting pressure from Washington to get it moved. So it took about 8 months that time around before we received the check. Let's start the clock, and we'll see how it works this time. Sooner the better. Up front in Finance Administration, we're in December. This is our closeout month. There's a resolution today for transfers based on our estimates from the beginning of the year. And what I expect these accounts would require to take us to the end of the year. Also, with regards to closeout, we have at the end of the year a meeting for all of our final processes for transfers and cancellations. Because we just received the audit report in the mail yesterday, Jason and I spoke, we didn't want to give that to council his review and have to sign off on it and pass a resolution without really getting a chance to read the document and ask any questions. So we're going to do that at the meeting at 29. So I'm not going to get into the actual audit report, because I'm sorry, just Bruce will give us the date. I don't know what the exact date is for that meeting. 27. Thank you.
29th is Saturday.
That's why I did so basically, we'll go over it at that meeting. We're working on some cost-saving measures, meeting with some of our neighboring towns. They're a little early to discuss them in specific detail, but we're always looking for ways to save money going into the next budget. So with that, I'll work progress.
Brian?
Thank you, Ryan. Just a quick report. We have one tax appeal that is from the prior year that I'm working with Brian Snyder on. It is in the state tax court. We're working on that. There is a resolution I will present that to council. Also, we have recently been in contact with some individuals that were looking to put in a application that was placed that I had to review. But it turns out there is a component for that where they're kind of an acupuncture. And because there's acupuncture, there is a requirement that they comply with our legal knives and scalpel ordinance, which I advise them of. So, to my knowledge, they haven't reapplied, but, however, if I may speak to, wish Tony well on all your future endeavors. Having been a former resident for many of the years of your service, I just thank you. Thank you.
Brian?
I gave everybody a copy of the handout, and under general engineering, we were asked by the engineering construction committee to evaluate some costs associated with their wish list. In your packet, you have a wide variety of projects. We did not assign a priority to them. We didn't compare as the roof and or shape of the road. It was strictly to come up with a cost estimate. Obviously, if you want to do everything, it was $932,000 and change. Obviously, your bond ordinance doesn't cover that, so it's now a matter of trying to figure out what you want to prioritize. And we'll be working with the engineering construction committee to make some recommendations, and we'll report on that at the next meeting. Under the handicap ramp program, we're in the process of just closing out the project with the punch list and taking care of the closeout documents, including the final change order. Same way on Reed Avenue, the project's done except for some punch list items, and we'll prepare the closeout documents for that.
Excuse me.
Yes.
How are we getting out with the bid bond, the first contract, be able to show up?
We've had some initial discussions with their attorney. We haven't executed on it. It's my understanding still hold.
Because there was an increase in the cost between the first contractor and the second contractor? And the bid bond would cover that difference?
That's what it should cover, so it's just up to Jack to make that happen. And if you need anything from me,
I've had conversations with the attorney. It's just a matter of.
Does it have to be done before the job's closed down, or is that not happen?
No, it has to be done
Release the
we get compensated.
thank you, Jack. On the East 3rd Avenue, East 2nd Avenue project, we have a payment recommendation along with the recommendation to accept change order number 1, which is the final change order, and that's on your docket tonight as resolution 12-147. We basically had a $1,400 cost increase just due to conditions we've encountered in the field, and we added some extra items to the project to try and make it more complete. And there's still some punch list items to address. We're holding about $3,300 in retained on that project. On the West 3rd Avenue project, we're trying to close that out, so we have a final payment recommendation along with the recommendation for another change order, and that's on your docket tonight as resolution 12-146. And again, we added some items, including the sidewalk on Elm Avenue. We were able to do all that work, and it was a $1,700 increase. The Beaver Branch Park improvements, the soccer fields are coming along nicely. The only thing we have to do yet is a well for watering the fields next spring, but we're going to need some electricity, and the electricity is coming from the bathroom project. So we're looking to start the well because the electricity is going to be coming in soon. As I move on to the bathroom facilities, we had the pre-construction meeting on the 20th of November. The notice to proceed was for November 26th, and the contractor is currently pulling his building permits, electrical permits, and working on his shop drawing submittals. We have not received an official schedule from him yet, but my indications during the pre-construction meeting would be within the first or second week of December. We're there already, so we're hoping to see some activities soon.
I remember there's conversations about changing the type of well we were going to put in for the irrigation system. Something that you guys redesigned.
Yes, it's a different type. It's going to save the borough $10,000. It's just a different, it's going to have the same capacity, it's just a different installation technique. The one that was spec'd out for bid was more for a potable well. You don't need as many bells and whistles if it's a irrigation well. So that's where we're saving Borough $10,000. And on the 2011 road program, we were trying to close that project out. There's still $16,000 in retainage. I sent a letter to the contractor on October 10th, trying to get some closeout documents from him. He has not forwarded those to me. One of them is a maintenance bond. It's my understanding he's having some financial difficulties paying the subcontractors. I believe they sent some documentation, sent some documentation to the borough saying they're still due some money. So I'm gonna be working with Jack to figure out what we do with the $16,000. I believe it goes to the bonding company, but I'll work out the details with Jack on that. But it's hard. We just want to get the project closed out so we can close the books on that and help Rich out balance his book at the end of the year. The municipal side egress door, the plans are complete. I handed them over to the engineering construction committee for review, and we're in the process of soliciting quotes to do the work to make it a little more watertight so we don't have floods in the landing area anymore. And under the discretionary A Route 168 revitalization project phase 2, I sent some documentation to the contractor for that so we can close that project out. They are working on getting the change order signed. That was only a week ago, so hopefully they'll be getting that back to me so we can release the $2,800 in retainage there and get to close out that project. And there's no progress at this point to report on the public works project. Working with the licensed site remediation professional on that. And that concludes my report. You're welcome.
Yeah, I want to get back to, I need to say a couple of thank yous I forgot. And I completely forgot about that Christmas party that we had and all the work that everybody did to make me look good. But in any case, I would need to thank Mr. White, the beautification committee. There's several members of it, even our head mixologist for hot chocolate is here. Determined how much water and chocolate should be in there. I think everybody enjoyed that. I see Patty, and I'm losing my marbles here. But in any case, I just wanted to thank this group. This group has been with me for quite some time now. They do everything from not only the beautification of Runnemede, but they deliver our 4th of July book. They decorate our halls, they clean up, et cetera, et cetera. And my sidekick is sitting on this side of the room, Mr. Del Sordo, who was our vice chairman to the Civic Association. My grateful thanks to Mr. Dickinson as president, Mr. Del Sordo, the vice chairman, and the beautification committee. Without you, it could never happen. And last but not least, the other borough employees that helped us out. Richard getting checks, Joyce going bananas, finding out where locations are for youth week, et cetera. And John, I can't say enough about the road department. And they're really been behind me 100%. I'm going to thank you all. Thank you.
New business, please.
Right. I have resolution 12-144 is a resolution confirming 2012 appointments. That it starts as a crossing guard and it's
Move the resolution.
Second.
All those in favor? Roll call.
Mrs. Passio.
Yes.
Mr. Capano.
Yes.
Mr. White. Yes. And Mr. Beatty.
Yes.
4 ayes to it. This is a resolution 12-145. This is a resolution authorizing the tax collector to alter the sewer billing due date. This is something that we've talked about, I wanted to do it last year, we had already ordered the bills. This is about, instead of them being due 4 times a year, they'd only be due twice a year. No money change, no doubt, but just to make them, I spoke to Jack, he's going to do our resolution. We've already spoken to our software company, and they have made some adjustments. And this is because we're trying to be efficient, more efficient with less people in the office. And to only have 2 due dates would save us a lot of time.
Does everybody understand that? So, having said that, I move to the application.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mrs. Passive?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
And Mr. Beatrice?
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
I move that the resolution be adopted.
Next is Resolution 12-146, a resolution requesting, approving a change order for Pioneer General Contractor.
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Passive?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mr. Kapata?
Yes.
And Mr. Beatrice?
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
I declare that the resolution be adopted.
Next is Resolution 12-147. This is a resolution requesting approving a change order for road construction paving.
Make a motion.
Second. Oh.
Roll call.
Mrs. Passive?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mr. Kapata?
Yes.
Mr. Beatrice?
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
I declare that the resolution be adopted.
The next is Resolution 12-148. This is a resolution authorizing property maintenance liens.
Move to the adoption.
Roll call.
Mrs. Passive?
Yes.
Mr. Kapata?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
And Mr. Beatrice?
Yes.
That's 4 ayes and 2 absent.
I declare that the resolution be adopted.
The next is Resolution 12-149. This is a resolution authorizing a refund of the duplicate payment of property taxes for Block 12, Lot 7.
Move to the adoption.
Roll call.
Mr. Kapata?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
And Mr. Beatrice?
Yes.
All right, 2 absent. And we have that additional one that Rich gave us, Resolution 12-150. This is a resolution authorizing transfers.
I move for the adoption of the resolution.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Kapata?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
And Mr. Beatrice?
Yes.
I move
4 ayes, 2 absent.
I move this resolution is adopted. Payment of bills.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion, we pay the bills along with some contractual bills linked to this.
Can I have a motion?
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Passio? Yes. Mr. Kapata?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
And Mr. Beatrice?
Yes.
4 ayes, 2 absent.
Pay the bills. Good and welfare. At this time, anyone would like to come up to the microphone and say anything, please state your name and address. State up to staff.
I'm gonna be a while, so if anybody wants to go next question right now, it's time. Hello, Mayor and Council. Good to see you again. I was here about a year and a half ago and I'm doing some business and I'm back again. So, for 25 years, that's the place. Hi, my name is Bruce Johnson. I live at 136 Harding Avenue in New Jersey. And I mailed the mayor and council a letter, which I thought would be read in correspondence about October 24th. And it cost me $6 from the post office, but I don't know what happened to it. But that's neither here or there. But I'll read it to you now because you were supposed to receive this a week and a half ago. My name is Bruce Johnson. I reside at 136 Harding Avenue in Runnemede, and I've been a resident at this address since 1987 and raised my family here. I have 2 daughters. The last 3 years, my household, along with other close neighbors, have patiently endured loud noises emanating from 119 Schubert at all hours of the day and night. Residents of that house have an affinity for high-performance vehicles, which produce the loud levels of noise. Constantly witnessing different cars arriving at 119 Schubert being brought on to the party, I decided to do my own investigating on the cause of so much activity going on in the garage. I was able to discover evidence that the residents of 192 Schuler are running a myriad of businesses, including an auto shop, detailing, a barber shop, and a cover charge to utilize the garage as a party headquarters. This evidence has been given to Runnemede Code official Keith Knight and the police, and will be formally presented to the Runnemede Council on Tuesday, December 4th at 5:30. I am asking my fellow neighbors to show support to return the neighborhood to a residential footing by showing up at this meeting and voicing their own personal stories on how this has affected them. Sincerely, Bruce Johnson. I'd like to submit this for your consideration.
Mr. Johnson, just so you know, we got your letter November the 21st from the post office in this envelope, but it wasn't, the reason it's not on the agenda, it wasn't addressed to mayor and the council. The letter itself says, "Dear neighbor," but everybody got it, I gave everyone a copy of it. But there's something must have happened, there was some problem in the post office, this is what we received on the
All right,
21st.
well, there you go. That was
Okay,
very-
everybody does that.
My $6 was lost. All right, now, that was the letter you were supposed to, you'll get a copy of that, that's fine. Now I want to submit to you. I want to thank you for acting on my request for parking a year and a half ago concerning this address. And you enforced the current parking on record. You came out and painted the curbs. Lord, that did not stop problems. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that did not curtail the problems. So there is a saying that high fences make good neighbors, but let me tell you, there's not a fence high enough or thick enough to make a good neighbor in this case, and I want to show you evidence, both video, sound, and written evidence as to why I'm presenting my case. So, you got the letter. Now, I have the evidence here. This will be the borough copy. This will be the council and mayor's copy. It's 33 pages long. I also have a flash drive, which I have 8 minutes worth of uninterrupted grooming and wheels and smoke and sound emanating from high-performance vehicles, which, if you're a NASCAR fan, you might enjoy it, but when you live right next door to them, it isn't much fun. So this is your flash drive. I gave a copy to the police and the code enforcement official. This will be your 33 pages of evidence, which I've documented, and I've written some editorial comments in there, which, I mean, I don't, this, you want to go over it right now or look at it, or does anybody?
It's probably the best thing, if you give it to council, we'll take a look at it, and make sure that the code official has it and the police department.
You should have almost all 34 pages. If they have 20 or 25, if you would give it to them and correspond, but
I just spoke to Keith Lang, keep me aware of what's going on over there. Actually, right now, he's turning it over to our prosecutor. Yeah, I mean, but he's doing as much as he can from the code official point. He'll actually be in court next court night.
well, this is all been collated, and it actually kind of like we start with a table of contents and goes all the way through. Actually, I spent a lot of, it's actually pretty good. So I would like to give this to the police and the code enforcement. There's probably some repeat stuff, but there's some new stuff.
I would like to give it to our prosecutor.
Oh, very good. There you go. Thank you.
I guess I should announce that I'm meeting tomorrow at 11:15 with Mr. Knight for an on-site inspection of this problem. I just was advised of that, and that's why I left the room. So there is some action going to be taken tomorrow at 11:15 in the morning.
Okay, well,
Can I ask a question? Has a formal complaint been filed either through the police department or a noise violation or anything like that? Is there any?
well,
filed any
we've
complaints?
called many times for noise ordinance violations, and the problem is these cars, you know, they're not there when the police are there. They vroom, you let them wait for 10 minutes, you call the cops, it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, they take off, they're gone. I mean, so it's one of these X-22s.
Can't you still file a complaint?
Well, I mean, but the video, would you guys like to hear the video, see the video, have the video?
Yeah, it's probably appropriate that we keep it in the hands of our construction code official and the police department, because they're the enforcement component of it, so we'll make sure we do.
All right, well, they've already got it out. I will keep this. Now to get down to where it actually involves you. This is where you guys gotta help me out, or step up to the plate, or help me to move, whatever you want to do. But after years and years, you know, now we put on a full court press. You gotta do something. So myself and a couple neighbors, we came up with an anger attack. We went through the police, we went through the code enforcement, now I'm going through the neighboring towns. This is where I'm asking you to step up. And over the weekend, I wrote a petition up, and I wrote, we, the undersigned, list of Runnemede County, diligently and thoroughly investigate activities surrounding business interests occurring in the zone residential area of 119 and Shubert. In conjunction with such operations, the tranquility of the neighborhood has been negatively impacted, and we ask local noise ordinance regulations to be strictly enforced along with laws concerning speed limits and parking. Now, I went up and down Shubert, Patricia Lane, Mitchell, Harding, Drexel Court, and these people could not sign this petition fast enough. I had mothers hugging me, thanking me. They said, don't forget to mention the children. I said, I have no problem. I thought I was going to be like a salesman trying to sell shooters. Get out, I don't want to sell them. Nobody said, I'm worried about repercussions. Everybody signed 100% petition. I have 43 people sign this petition. And actually, if I didn't want to watch football, I'd probably get 100. All right? I want to present this to Mayor. I want to show you the width and the depth of this problem. These cars, you can hear them from my house from 136 Harding Avenue, go down Schubert, go up Evesham, and when they finally get to St. Teresa's, they probably don't hear them anymore. All right, this is how bad it is. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 6 might be 7. We pray for rain, so they keep the garage door shut. They don't operate with the cars. That's what our lives have been reduced to. So I'm asking you to consider, this isn't one crazy neighbor, all right? I want to let you know that has a vendetta against the neighbor. This is my community, my local community, 4 or 5 blocks around. And personally, my children are grown. They don't play in the street with balls anymore. However, Mitchell Avenue has a cluster of new families, and those mothers just beg me to come up here and put a stop to this. So, just let you know that my personal issue is sound, other people's is safety, and it really comes down to the community out So that is the petition I'm going to present to you. I want you guys. I want you guys out. This is my neighbor. This is my family. So there are some quotes that have come down from my evidence that this high performance place or boys performance wants to go worldwide. I applaud them for their vision. They have quite the entrepreneurial spirit. According to my records, they don't take any credit, so they have cash only as a business model, and they are diversified. However, they're going to go worldwide. I'm not going to allow them to start at 119 Schubert. All right, that's my mission. So I'm telling you right now, I'll be up here next month. I'll be up here the following month until we can get this rectified. Like I said, the wish list of everybody on that petition has different goals, but they all told me the same 3 goals. We want peace, quiet, and safety. All right? That's all we ask as residents of the community. And as mayor and council, I ask you to support us in that cause. So we're going to stay diligent and vigilant. And if there's anything evidence-wise, I'm not a lawyer. To me, this is a slam dunk. But obviously, there is no such thing in the court of law. And if a lawyer says, we can't win this case, I don't want to go to court, you let me know. We'll put cars through. We need receipts. We need cash. We need witnesses. I need help. All right. So I want to win this. I want to shut the garage business down. All right. I mean, that's it. I mean, nothing else. All right. We do have some other neighbors that have shown up. As my letter said, if they want to express how they would affect them, I ask them to come to the meeting. So this time, I'd like to have a walk. And thank you for your time.
Good evening. My name is Walt McDermott. I live on 138 Mitchell Avenue, actually right next door. And what Bruce has been saying is so accurate. Many nights, especially in the warmer weather, my wife and I can't even open up a window because of the noise. I've had to go to the VA hospital to get Ambien so I can sleep in it. It's so brutal. And when you watch that video, that's actually just the tip of the iceberg. I have seen, and Bruce will be a witness, and anybody else in the neighborhood will be a witness, 15 cars racing down the street. 15, no exaggeration. I have seen them racing side by side on those little streets. I have seen them blowing through those stop signs at 70, 80 miles an hour. I could go on and on and on for hours, some of the things they said. And the other big problem is they'll park, when it gets crowded there, they'll park in front of my house or in front of Bruce's house, which, you know, makes me trivial to you. You gotta realize, when they pull up, and when they leave, both times they startle you, or they've woken you up. I had a kid, I don't know, 8 months ago, 10 months ago, pulled up and they're pulling in and out of the front of our house 4 times, each time waking my wife up and making me wake me up. So when we go to work the next day, we're so tired, we're busy, we gotta sit down, we're so busy. Now, I talked to him about it, I went out there in my underwear and bare feet the 4th time he came up there. He was very polite, very nice, he drove away. But 4 times he woke my wife and I up. And again, I could sit here for hours and go through stuff. What Bruce is saying is very, very accurate, and there's just no way to live. You just can't live like that. And if you could get some of the other neighbors, I'm sure they'll tell you the same thing. But maybe they're intimidated, I don't know.
Excuse me, do you call the police at that time of morning?
Pardon me?
Have you called the police at that time of morning?
Yeah.
Do the police come?
Yeah, they'll always come. They'll
But then
always
nobody's
come.
there when they come. Is that what you're
A
saying?
lot of times nobody's there, or a lot of times I see them telling the guys to calm down, and they will. And the next day it's the same thing. I've seen 6 cop cars down there. And I'm sure the captain, he can tell you, I've seen 6 cop cars. I've seen him throw the guy down on the ground. I've seen him put handcuffs on him and he's back the next day. I've seen that a couple times. Handcuffs on the guy, he's back the next day. I mean, a lot of times, I know this sounds really corny, but a lot of times I'm driving home from work, I don't even want to drive in a running. I don't even want to go home. I mean, that's a sad way to live. My wife and I have lived there for like 33 years. Never had a problem. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm whining. Talk to other people, I'm sure they'll tell you the exact same thing. Thanks for your time, appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I had one request of the borough based on the evidence and our petition that I'm personally requesting. I ask you to look into and act on it. We can deny it, but this is my wish list. Here's the Christmas season. So, I would like, personally, I live at 136 Hard, and I live on the corner of Mitchell and Hard. So Mitchell side yellow line for the stop sign. I'm requesting the yellow line from my house for this. So, I mean, you guys can look into it, potentially or why, or whatever, traffic safety wise, but as an owner, I'm asking for that. I don't know if it's on the books. I hope you can put it on the books. I hope you can enforce it, but these high performance cars, just idling comes right through your house, just idling. I would like a no idle sign, I'd like Wawa has 3-minute idle sign. I don't know if we have it on the books, I don't know if it's enforceable. I don't know if I can call a cop and say, I got a guy idling in front of my house for 20 minutes, I'm trying to sleep. I would like to look into that, if it's enforceable. If it's already on the books, I would like idle signs put up in my neighborhood, so when I call the cops, give them a ticket. I would also like, apparently, in my submission here, I show you a very appealing neighborhood. That's sarcastic. You got trash all over the place. You got 6 cars parked in the lawn of this house. I talked to Mr. Knight about it, because my neighbor told me that's a violation of the code. Unfortunately, it's not, because our code says you can't park on your front lawn. This is their side lawn, even though they're corner property. I'm requesting that you change the code to include corner properties, side lawn, 2 driveways. And I would like you to do that. If you want to look at the pictures and look at the slot, you have to look at it every day. And maybe you understand it. And there's also one of the residents of that house has a white car. I'm going to call it, I don't know what model it is, but really what it is a jet engine attached with 4 tires. They call it the Panda car in their email, Facebook, whatever you want to call that stuff. Anyway, the thing is, it really belongs to the racetrack. Obviously, it's their heart and soul, it's their passion. It's not a transportation vehicle. It has tinted windows, it has lettering on the windshield, And if it doesn't have an illegal exhaust system, and Christie, you'll verify this, it does spit out fire. It spits out fire when he floors it. Fire comes out, like you would put a hot dog behind it. Now, if that's not illegal, then there must not be any illegal exhaust system. The car, from evidence that word of mouth from the police department has been fined repeatedly. Well, I need someone to tell me why the same car can be on the same road every day and not being impounded next week, or not working correctly. So I'm requesting that this Panda car be impounded, or else we new exhaust system. That's my good wish thing. So I would like to submit that to the borough because a lot of this is law. So I'm submitting. I didn't have time to put it on Microsoft Word and make it look good. But this is my wish list. Thank you. All right, I want to thank you very much for your patience. Thank you.
Anything else?
All those in favor?